Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 620 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm host, as always. I'm Tyler. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I am feeling fairly good. I just had a huge burrito for dinner and I'm
Asshole.
freaking satisfied. But other than that, man, I'm doing all right. Work week was pretty tough in some spots, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't like, say, a horrible week or anything like that. It actually ended on a good positive note. But other than that, man, I've just been watching some bit of gaming stuff, like gaming news stuff on YouTube, watching a bit of Twitch stuff here and there, playing a little bit on my analog pocket stuff because it's like, even though I've finished doing like my Charmander run stuff, I've done like a little bit of stuff with Pokemon Blue for like Squirtle stuff. I'm not gonna go really too much in depth with that because I haven't really gotten too much anywhere with that yet. But yeah, other than that though, just the same old stuff. I did have a chance though to watch a little bit of the NHL draft a bit yesterday, but it's because of the fact that it was the San Jose Sharks.
Gotcha. Yeah, the first
Never
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
They never pick number one in these type of lottery-based drafts, and so they got Galabrini with the number one pick. I saw that plus their like number 11 pick that they had. I have the round two thing on recording, so if I really want to go through and watch the rigmarole of that, I can. But it's the only reason why I'm so much interested now and just kind of like delving into the hockey stuff currently. It's like that's one of the sports where my dad, just he doesn't really watch, and that's a sport I can actually enjoy without a lot of his tit for tat stuff. So,
Not a lot of yelling.
well, yeah, not just not a lot of yelling or something like that, but this dude will just like he's ride and die with the Oakland A's regardless of what
Oh,
happens to
yeah.
them. So it's like that's the thing there. It's like I like the Oakland A's. I love like the franchise, the whole class, the history and stuff like that. I grew up watching guys like Hudson Mulder and Zito and stuff in the early 2000s and stuff. That rotation alongside guys like Eric Chavez, guys like Miguel Tejada, and all this other stuff. So that time period, I have a fondness of, even though they didn't do shit in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like it's like an Oakland A's tradition. Ever since 1990, they have not even come close to World Series. But long story short, this is a gaming
Yeah.
podcast.
Allegedly.
But how have you been doing, Tyler?
I'm all right. Still out of work right now with just the old injury. So, doing all right. The week one of just sitting at home. I don't know. It's funny. Like I had a week off on vacation, and then went back to work for a week. Got hurt at work, and then it's like I don't know. Like I was like telling my parents and stuff. They were calling me just to call me every day, see how I'm doing. And I was like, like if this would have happened in like September, October, I'd be like totally fine, probably like after a week. But it's like because the doctor said it's like it could be out like for up to a month. I'm like, on one hand, it's like cool month off, but I'm like, fuck, I just had a week off. And it's like, no, I'm just kind of like I don't know, like I'm not like excited to go back to work at all or anything like that. But it's like kind of just tired of sitting around the house. It's like I just sat around the house for a week. But it's also like 100 degrees outside there, so I really can't do anything if I wanted to. But I don't know. It's not like luckily it's not like a super serious injury. Just you want to kind of wait and for everything to heal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I got some like fun pain pills and muscle relaxers. I'm taking a break from the muscle relaxers though. Man, they've been giving me some fucked up dreams, Gables. I don't know if I said on the podcast last week or not.
What's up?
I talked to somebody about this. I could have sworn it's you, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's been a fucked up week. The TV show House. Did I talk to you about House?
Yes,
I did talk to
I
you about
think you
House.
did.
Okay. All right. I'll probably talk about it in last week's podcast. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell a story again, just in case, real quick. I've never watched an episode of House in my entire life, and I had a dream that I'm just on the House Reddit page all the time, and like that's. I don't know why I had that. I keep having like random ass dreams about things like that. I don't know why. It's like these muscle relaxers. As great as I sleep when I'm on them, like I've been sleeping in really well, which is always my problem. Is like falling asleep is easy for me. It's just staying asleep, and then like it's fixed
Mm-hmm.
that part of it. But I keep like waking up. And I'm like fucked up by these. Like I'm like super tired still because like the pills. But like I'm like, what the fuck was that dream about? Like I just keep having weird ass dreams. So I'm taking the night off. Plus I can't drink while I'm on them, so I'm. But first time in like 2 weeks, I'm having a beer. So. Uh, I'm doing pretty good. I also, you had a delicious burrito. I had Texas Roadhouse today.
Yeah.
So, oh, you all right, Gables?
Oh, I got to plug in my laptop here. Apparently, it's showing the whole. Oh, your battery's running low.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that. But yeah, anyways, like Gable said, this is a video game podcast where every week Gables and I get together and talk about video games and talk about everything we love and hate about them. If you guys like this, enjoying all this, first off, why? Second off, hey, check us out. We're on everything: YouTube, podcast services. Just look for us, Drunk Nerds, Drunk-Nerds. We're also on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff too. So there are links down below to check us out in all those places. Give you a quick link. If not, just wherever you're on, just search for us. You'll find us. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a thumbs up. Subscribe, follow, whatever you got to do in those things. We would greatly appreciate it. Um, but
Yes, we would.
yeah. Get the shit out of me. You like talk to me from like a weird angle, and like it hit my fucking AirPods at a weird spot. It's like for a second there, I thought I was playing Hellblade. Uh, just, there's something like
Sorry about that.
something talking to me from behind. I'm like, what the fuck was that? That was weird.
Crisis averted.
Yes, thank God. I'm not in Hellblade, and Gables got his computer plugged in, so that's good. But anyways, not a lot of news this week. So I thought it'd be a good time, Gables. We are as of recording this, it is the 29th. This will be going up on the 30th of July. So we are basically about maybe not exactly, but we are a year or halfway through the year of 2024. It's been a pretty solid year so far. I would say, like, I think it's a big thing we've been talking about where maybe not a ton of like clear like great AAA games, but like a lot of good AAA games to great, and then but indie games have been killing it. AA games have been really kind of carrying the year so far. I feel like I was thinking about this a lot. I think I played a lot of Dragon Age. I'll talk about it later, but Dragon Age Inquisition from 2014, and I was like, I think like we talked about 2014 and the 2019 not being great years, but I was thinking a lot about those 2 years lately, and I really trashed on 2019 a lot during that year. And now, like I played there's certain games I missed during that time frame. And I've gone back, over the years and played them. Like it was a better year than I thought, but it was also like one of those like I think 2014, 2019 are like there's not that like God of War, that Last of Us, or that Elden Ring or whatever. There's not those clear cut like a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom type thing. There's not like 2 or 3 like big games that stand out in those years, but like there's actually like really good games in there that like, but they're not for everybody type thing. Like you have like they hit certain audiences. Like maybe it's an easy clear cut game of the year for like those audiences, but it's like I don't know. You look at like Control or Resident Evil 2 or like a Dragon Age or South Park, Stick of Truth, stuff like that. Like, and I think this is gonna be that like it's almost like every 5 years basically. 2024 I think might be that year again, where like that first like few months of the year there wasn't really a lot for me that I played that I really enjoyed, like outside of like Final Fantasy, but there was like a ton of like great like a Dragon, Tekken, stuff like there's a lot of like Prince of Persia, stuff like that. Like a lot of big games that came out in that first few months that like I didn't really care for. Like they're not my games, but like there's just like for people like for a lot of people like those are like they're like these are like generational games, or these are like they're clear cut game of the years. And I feel like that's gonna be the case here for a lot of people. I think is like when we get towards the end of the year, I think it's like I'm like I've said this before, but I'm really excited for like the Game Awards this year, because like I feel like more so than any like maybe outside of like 2019, I can't think of like like usually when you like get to the Game Awards, like what was it like Baldur's Gate 3 last year like won like a bunch of awards. Like there's always that one or two games that take up like 80% of the awards. I feel like this year, like I don't know how like I can't see what makes the final 6 for game of the year, and then like I don't think there's gonna be a game that's gonna be like a clear cut like this one won 7 or 8 like just dominated the awards. So I'm excited for like what this this year could turn into. Obviously, there's still a ton of great games coming the second half of the year. But monologue over. Gables, we were kind of talking about like what are you looking forward to for the rest of 2024?
All right, there are a couple of games I'm looking forward to playing. Obviously, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. That one I do want to try because it's somewhat different than what I'm accustomed to for Legend of Zelda. Another thing is I kind of like the whole gimmick, the puzzle mechanic stuff of Zelda learning various like mimicking various like items and monsters and stuff in order to use them as a part of like solving puzzles, like getting like out of like a certain predicament or something by getting inside of like a town or something like that, or solving various other like dungeon puzzles or something, or fighting against other monsters. It's something different from the Zelda franchise that has been sort of like sameish for a long time, where it's like, okay, you play as Link, You have hero time. You go on this big adventure and stuff like that. It's just nice to see something a little bit like different than what we're accustomed to. You know, I'm not sure how the quality of game will be. I mean, I'm definitely hoping this is going to be a great
Yeah.
game and not like say kind of forgettable experience, say like a Phantom Hourglass or like a Spirit Tracks or whatsoever. You know, but
Yeah.
other than that, though, that's one game I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year. Let's see, Black Myth Wukong.
Oh yeah.
That's a game that's coming out next. Actually, not next month, but in
Yeah.
August.
Next month and
It's gonna.
Monday, basically. We're basically in July.
I know we're so close to July and stuff that it really makes me feel like this game is a lot like closer than what it
What is it
is.
like?
But yeah, Black Myth
August
Wukong.
20th. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, August 20th is its release date. I'm fascinated to see how Black Myth Wukong does, and I'm also fascinated in terms of playing it. I mean, granted, it is like a Souls-like experience, but the whole Journey to the West aesthetic and stuff with Son Goku and stuff, and then like all of the various creatures and all the various like folklore things surrounding the settings and stuff, the atmosphere of it seemed really interesting in my honest opinion because I've played a couple different games before in the past and watched certain forms of media that's inspired by Journey to the West, Dragon Ball being one of them, you
Yeah.
know, for that animated series and stuff, but also like oh my
Enslaved.
gosh, that one, yes,
Yeah.
Enslaved, honest, like Journey to the West, I think it was
Yep.
called. Yeah, Enslaved for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I
Great game.
remember playing that game through, and that was an underrated game. That was definitely something that could have done better than what it was. The ending of that game I do remember fondly because that left to interpretations of it could have been like a there could have been a sequel in that regards from how it ended and stuff, but the fact of the matter is it's like there's certain games and certain aspects from this whole like Journey to the West story that's been around for literally like hundreds of like a couple hundred years at this point that I really like the setting for Black Myth Wukong. The gameplay looks fairly solid. I'm just fascinated just to pick it up and play, even though I still have to go through Erd Tree, which I did purchase that expansion
I was gonna
for
ask. Okay.
Elden Ring Erd Tree. Yeah, yeah, I've played literally like about maybe 20 minutes of it because I haven't had the chance to really delve deep into it. I mean, it's just getting to the point, Tyler. It's like if I'm going to be doing a big time investment stuff, I got to be in a mood in order to try to play this stuff
Mm-hmm.
because you're looking at someone that played like about 92 hours of Elden Ring last, you know, for the release that
2022.
when it was at and stuff. Like in 2022, yes, that was like about almost 2 years ago at
A
this
little over
point.
2 years now. Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. So me getting adjusted back to how I used to play my character and this and that, you know, I mean, it was just one of those moments where I turned on the game, I literally go into the whole thing, like go into that overworld and stuff. Okay, well, how do I do this? How do I do this now? How do I do that? You know. But that being said and stuff, with Zelda, with Black Myth Wukong, but I am looking forward to playing a bit of a retro stuff too, like Clock Tower.
Mm. Yeah.
Clock Tower is the game that is a Super Famicom release back in 1995, and it's finally coming to the West, localized and stuff, brought with Way Forward. I have it ordered through Limited Run Games. I have the Switch version of it, but being being so, I have generally been doing things a couple different ways now with some of these various releases of the retro stuff. With Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade Collection and also with Clock Tower, I've bought the Switch versions first because that's a physical type of thing I want to have. And then like for digital and stuff, I will get on PC because it's like PC stuff I can easily bring it up. I can easily go through them, like customize things if I really want to. But yeah, Clock Tower is definitely one of those older survival horror style games I've been interested in order to experience. There's this one Twitch streamer and this one person that I've been like watching off and on now for the past like close to a year now. Her name is Emmy Divergent, and basically what when I first started watching her content and stuff, she started like streaming one of her yearly runs of Clock Tower, and so it's like it was released literally like a year before Resident Evil did, and that whole thing for the PS1. So it's fascinating to see what survival horror was like even before like the creation of like say Resident Evil and how that
Yeah.
became popular and this and
I
that.
like the original, like Alone in
But
the Dark and stuff.
Yes, like Alone in the Dark. Just that whole time span in the mid '90s to where a new genre literally was created before our very eyes, and then all of a sudden, it had a lull for a hell of a long time. Then now it's back with a
Yeah.
vengeance. But like I was preluded to, also the whole Marvel vs. Capcom collection too. I mean, that's just that style of like a collection stuff. That's just basically the retro stuff that I'm looking forward to in general. But if what I'm talking about, like new games and stuff, oh boy. Okay, other than like say Zelda, other than like Black Myth Wukong, I have to really dig deep in this one because I know there are some great games that are going to be releasing fairly soon, also close to the end of the year. I just can't remember a whole
Oh,
lot of them because there are so many, and I'm literally having to be reminded them like almost daily. It's like, oh yeah, this is coming
yeah.
out, or oh yeah, that's coming
Yeah,
out.
that I've always talked about. I keep I have like the Notepad app on my phone, and one of the files in there is like all the games that I'm like looking forward to like for this year, and then I put them in like, and then when they get dates, I have an order by date, and then like I highlight them if I
Hmm.
pre-order them somewhere. Like I told before, like there's been times I've accidentally pre-ordered a game twice from like Target and Best Buy and not realize it, and I got two copies
Yeah,
show up. So like I do this like, and also like I'll be like, all right, cool. I can kind of like figure out how much money I need to like, in the future and stuff. So like, hey, like, all right, cool. I got an extra, like 30, $40 this week, or more than I think. I'm like, cool. I can put a little bit towards buying like a like a PSN card or whatever, an Xbox card or whatever to get the game
right.
if I'm gonna buy digitally or whatever. So, um, but yeah, like
Um, oth- Other than that, though, Tyler, I mean, I can't really think of anything else I'm looking forward to. I'm sure there's going to be a game or two I'm going to think of right after we're done recording. It's
yeah,
like, oh crap,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'll go. I got a list here, so if you got any that I mentioned, let me know. Chime on in.
okay,
This is like a weird one here. I kind of like I don't think this is gonna be a game I'm gonna love or play a ton of. It's a free to play game. It actually comes out on Tuesday. It's called the First Descendant. It's a free to play looter shooter. I
hmm.
think Nexon's making this one. We've seen it at like multiple
Oh
it's been like I think it was like Game Awards and it was at Summer Game Fest just a few weeks ago. I was watching some
yeah,
like preview stuff for it. Like I thought the trailer and everything it's kind of like a futuristic like third person shooter game. Like I don't know like I don't describe this one. Like I just watched a couple previews on it. Like I kind of liked what I saw in the trailers. Like oh, this looks kind of interesting. I'll keep an eye on it. And then I found out later on it's free to play. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm definitely like, at least gonna check it out. And now I'm stuck at home at least for at least one more week. So I'm like, well, so I'm definitely gonna like give it a shot. I don't know how much like time I'm gonna put into it. Definitely, it's gonna depend on like how bad the game like the free to play mechanics are. How crazy are you get with the charges and stuff like that. But if like I don't know, I could play the game. It's like
right.
pay to win bullshit. If it's just whatever, I'll definitely check it out. But that's coming on Tuesday. Um, Obviously the big thing that's gonna take over everything for me. NCAA football 25 coming back finally after 11
Oh yeah.
years on July 16th. If you have a game, if you have EA Play or Game Pass Ultimate, or you buy like the Ultimate Edition, or I can't remember what it's called. Um, Deluxe Edition, like you get 3 days early, so July 16th. So I have Game Pass, so I'm gonna be playing that. And that's basically gonna just be me for a long time. Like that's gonna be my thing. Definitely. I'm just like gobbling up any information I can find about this game. Um, so that's gonna be a big thing for me. I just want to run through this. Like I was pulling up the Game Informer list here of like um, all like it's like the
Hmm.
list of like games coming in 2024 that have dates. Um, I want to point out there is a week here, not even a week. It's like a 3 day period of just like what the hell. Um, so July 17th, Gables is probably one you're gonna kick yourself for not mentioning. Team and T Splintered Fate. Um,
Oh yeah, that's right.
yes,
The
yep,
roguelike.
that's coming July 17th. It's a Switch exclusive. It's an Apple Arcade game. I looked it up. It's $30. So it's digital only. But it's a roguelike,
Hmm.
so I don't know. Like it's kind of sucks. It's like a online. I think you can do up to 4 player multiplayer. It just kind of sucks. It's like on the Switch. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might check it out. But it's one of those things where it's like it's just kind of a victim of its time frame coming out.
This is this is like a wait and see type of thing though, really, because it has a couple red flags already to where it's like Switch exclusive. You have like basically 4 player. Like co-op stuff that really isn't like online,
It is
correct?
online. Yeah,
Okay, so it is
that's what
online,
scares me.
and it's on the
It's
Switch
an online
online
Switch
stuff.
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's like I've heard like the Apple Arcade game is like as a mobile game was actually really good. So
Uh huh.
I'm excited to like check it out for that reason. But it's definitely like yeah, I'm gonna wait and see what people say about this. If it comes out, it's like I'm not expecting like 9 out of 10s here. Like I'm expecting like sevens, but if it's like I've always talked
Yep.
about, there's like two different types of sevens. There's like the sevens are like this is like a totally mediocre game. I think of the sevens like this game is like a hidden gem type seven. So if
Yes.
it's closer to like the hidden gem seven thing, even though it's not probably gonna be a hidden gem, like then I might check it out for that reason. But that's on the 17th. Then on the 18th we have Bo Path of the Teal Lotus. That's coming to everything.
Oh, okay.
We have Dungeons of Hinterberg. It's a third person like a dungeon crawling game. It looks really cool. It's like a snowboarding game. Also, but like mixed in with like a like a love story type thing. I don't know. It looks really cool. It's coming to Game Pass
Yes.
as well, and then also coming to Game Pass on that same day. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. That's all July 18th. It's more including on July 18th. NES edition, Nintendo World Championships NES edition.
Oh, yes. I am looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
July 19th, I already mentioned college football. And also July 19th is Kunitsu which are
Kanitsugami.
Gami Path of the Goddess. It's that Capcom game. Also coming to Game
Oh,
Pass.
crap.
So there, yeah, we have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pretty, at least maybe not huge AAA games, but like 7 games. I think there's an audience out there that people are looking forward to these games in like 3 days. So that's pretty nuts. But those are like not all those games I plan on buying, but like are like playing like Instant Football is obviously a play. Flintlock and Dungeons of Hinterberg, they're coming to Game Pass, so I'm gonna check them out at least. But I'm not like
Mm.
anticipating like I'm gonna put like a ton of hours into it. But also if like the reviews come out and they're like, yeah, it's like a 7, it's fine, then maybe I'll just gloss over them. But like I said, they're coming to Game Pass. I'll check them out most likely. Um, in August 8th, SteamWorld Heist 2. I am a
Mm.
gigantic fan of the SteamWorld Heist game, or at least the first one, I should say. Like there's only been one so far. I don't like the others. I respect Dig 1 and 2 for what they are, but they're not for me. I didn't play Builder. There was the RPG one, like the turn-based one. I didn't play either. But
Oh, yeah, the
yeah,
Gilgamesh.
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 Yeah, that's what. Yeah, yeah. I never played that one, but like the SteamWorld Heist game, I absolutely adored. So I'm super pumped for this one. The only like downside is like I heard it's like a 30-hour game, so that like because like the first one's like
Mm.
I don't know, I think it's like 10, 12 hours, like maybe even shorter, depending on how crazy you want to get to it. Next up, Madden 25. Obviously, I'm gonna play a ton of that one probably too. It's
Mm-hmm.
weird though. Like I've been like I thought about this for years now. I'm like, man, I'm kind of like I like one point where it's like as of you're getting older, like I'm in my as Gables likes to remind me all the time, I'm in my mid 30s now, um, and it's like when like Instant Football came out, that was like I was still early 20s, so I was like, I was like I had like
Mm-hmm.
I worked like I had worked 40 hours a week, I was still like living at home, so like but I had like a ton of time to play video games, do all that, and now like live by myself. I work a ton of hours. It's like as much as I love it's kind of a nice like I used to be able to like jump back and forth no problem between it's still play football and Madden and still play like the big game that's coming out. But also we had way less games back then to play, so it was like it was easy to
Yep.
like have those 2 games to bounce back and forth between, and like maybe you might have 1, 2 big games a month maybe, and then you might have like 3, 4 months where there's no games. Back in like early 2010 era, in like late 2000s and stuff. But now it's like I have less time than ever to like, yeah, like I'm single, and I don't have kids, stuff like that. So I have way more time than maybe most people. But like trying to balance these games, it's gonna be crazy. Like trying to balance like 2 side games, and like, I know they're very similar games, but they're also completely different in certain ways too. It's like how is like an adult Tyler for the first time ever, like real adult Tyler, gonna balance playing instant football and Madden. Like, I used to like I'd get really hardcore into like for a month or so into instant football, get really into Madden for like a couple months, and then usually I'd play like 2 or 3 seasons of instant football before Madden come out. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do that now. Unless I'm out of work for like the next, unless like my injury takes way longer and I'm out of work for like 2 months, then maybe that'll happen. But like, there's no way I'm gonna play like 2, 3 seasons of instant football, and then I play Madden 2 or 3 seasons. I get caught up to like you can transfer your players over, and then I go back to still play football for a couple seasons, and like that's the way I've done. Nowadays when I play Madden, I only do the franchise mode, and nowadays I like maybe get 5 or 6 seasons in. Like I used to be able to get like 10 or 12 in, with also playing instantly football. So it's kind of crazy. Like now as like adult, how's Tyler gonna figure that out? Adult Tyler. Um, a couple. I'll speed through some of these here. I'm going a little long. Sorry. Dustborn is a game I'm eager to check out. I'm not. It's coming on August 20th. It's a Game Pass game. It's giving me like there's some like cool storytelling vibes of like I'm getting from like a Life is Strange type. It's like a group of friends going across the country, but like they actually has like actual like third person gameplay, and the previews that have come out, the gameplay is not great. So it's like okay, how like that storytelling and those cast of characters better be really good. Like I'll play a really good game like as far as like storytelling and characters with mediocre
Right.
gameplay. Like I'm fine with that. I've done it before. But like if it's really bad though, like that could turn me off, and that might stop me. But also if it's like 20 hours. Stalker 2 coming out September 5th. That's coming to Game Pass as well. Another game I've been looking forward to for several years now. Like it's been a long time since we got like a Metro game, so I'm pretty excited to like kind of maybe fill that gap for me. Next up, also, oh, Jesus Christ, this is insane. Astrobot. That's coming out the day after on September 6th. Super pumped for that game. That game looks fantastic.
Nice.
That's probably gonna be like, maybe I would say like not counting like the football games, probably like my second most anticipated game for the rest of the year. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. We talked about it. I'm excited. I'm excited to check that one out. I'm not like I don't know how like great that game's gonna be, but like yeah, it's gonna be a Zelda game. I feel pretty good positive. It's at least gonna be a good game. Um, my most anticipated game so far this is like with the date so far, October 29th. Life is Strange Double Exposure. Gables knows True Colors my game of the year in 2021. I
Mm-hmm.
love the previous three. Like Life is Strange 2, I enjoyed like quite a bit. But I talked about a lot where like the game took like we were going months and months between like the next episodes coming out, so that kind of killed the flow of it. It's kind of like the late Telltale, where like we go 3 4 like we go like 3 4 months without an episode, and then all of a sudden we get like 2 episodes in like a month. Um, it was just like it kind of like killed the flow of those games. For me, like you look at like the early days of like Telltale at its peak, where it's like you get like one every two weeks or one once a month, and like yeah, like so it kind of killed the flow of it, and like by the time like 3 months go by, and like I've totally forgot everything that's happened like with these stories. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I got one on a tangent there, but I'm really excited for this one. Sorry about that. Avowed coming November 12th. Not confirmed that date, but they put it in the blog post and they quickly deleted it. That was a date, so I'm just going with that as a date. I'm excited for that one. I don't know how like I enjoy their games. Obviously like South Park: Stick of Truth. I played Outer Worlds. I always mix up with Outer Wilds. Outer Worlds for the first time last year. I played through that and I actually really really enjoyed that. So I'm excited to check out Avowed. Like it's not maybe not typically my game, but it's coming to Game Pass. So I'm definitely gonna just for that reason alone I'm gonna check it out.
Mm.
Mentioned TMNT, casting of Frank Stone. Supermassive's making that game. It's that weird like it's sort of like tie-in with like Dead by Daylight. Still don't really fully
Yep.
understand what that game is. Like there might have been they might have leaked the date. I think it's sometime in September. No idea like how big of a game this is or like what exactly you're gonna be doing in it. We've got very little like gameplay or trailers or any news on it. Um, I'm expecting it soon, but I'm excited for that one. I'm gonna play anything Supermassive makes. I'm gonna play. Neva is that game with like the people that make Grizz.
Mm-hmm.
That's their next game.
Yes.
That's supposed to come out this. I'm not expecting it this year. That's supposed to come out this year. So I'm excited for that one. Dear and Boy. I'm excited for that game. Obviously, it's a Tyler S. Tyler game right there. Power Rangers Rewind is supposed to come out this year. Excited for that one as well. That
Mm.
looks like obviously it's a fun
Yep.
little beat 'em up game. Dragon Age Veilguard, I'm extremely excited for as well. Assuming that comes out, this will come out sometime this fall. Then last but not least of like what's on my list, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'm a huge Wolfenstein fan. Not like the biggest Indiana Jones fan in the world. Like I enjoyed the movies growing up as a kid, but like just really excited. I'm gonna check out pretty much anything Machine Games makes. Then a couple games like I still on my list that are out but I haven't played yet. Still Wakes the Deep. I'm excited for. That's actually my next game on my list of like beat Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm gonna jump into Still Wakes the Deep probably tomorrow. And then another game I did pick up recently, Thousand Cross Resist. So those are like the games. There's a ton. So it's funny like a month ago before Summer Game Fest, I was like, Man, it's pretty. There's not a lot coming out the rest of this year. There's like, I had like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 games, and then all of a sudden, like a bunch of games just got announced. And a lot of games like we got clarification for they're coming out this year. So, but I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 games in the next 6 months. And some of those are like definitely like I'm probably going to dabble in for a few hours because they're on Game Pass type thing. And then the other ones like, yeah, are going to like some of these games are going to be probably gigantic. Um, yeah, so a pretty, I think it's going to be, I think it's been a pretty good solid first half of the year. Maybe not like, crazy, like, oh my God, game of the generation type year, but like, I don't know. I think it's been a pretty good, like, I already have like 11 games that I can, if I made a top 10 list, I have 11 games here I can kind of work
Mm-hmm.
around a list in, which is not bad for, what's kind of been I think for some people, maybe been a down year. So, but yeah, that's what I've got on my list so far. I mean, anything I mentioned there, Gables, that you wanted to maybe, that you're looking forward to that I mentioned?
Well, I definitely am looking forward a little bit to that Power Ranger game, only because it's something that hasn't been done in quite a long while, and that is having a decent looking Power Rangers beat 'em up game that's not like, say, a fighting game or anything of that sort. The game really reminds me of the old beat 'em ups on the Super Nintendo because of the quality of the action stuff. There's a lot of interesting mechanics in it that I kind of want to try out. Like the whole aspect of the Megazord fights, the whole aspect of going through some of the various stages and stuff with some of the characters and facing off against classic bad guys and monsters from that show. Yeah,
You know,
that definitely has a nostalgia feel to me. That is definitely something I'm looking forward to play if it releases by the end of this
yeah,
year.
yeah. I don't think we even have a timetable. I just think it says 2024. Um, but yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on. Now, not too many other news here, Gables. So we did get confirmed though there is a Capcom Next is what they're calling them. I don't know if they've always called them that or if that's just like the first time they called them the
No.
Capcom Next. I can't remember. They've had Capcom presentations in the past, but anyways, um, it is 25 minutes long. They did confirm that Kinitsu Gami Path of the Goddess, which like I mentioned is coming next month. Um, they also just announced this week that there's a. It's weird they're calling it a Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, but it's actually a full blown remake. So it's really weird they're calling it that.
Mm.
Like it's made like a brand new engine and stuff like that. And they show like we didn't see a lot of gameplay. We got like a little bit of snippets. It's like a 30-second long trailer. And then they
Mm.
also mentioned I think in this one they're gonna like kind of update the save system, which thank God because I think that was the thing that like
Oh yeah, that was atrocious in the original Dead
yeah,
Rising.
yeah. So like I remember like that came out when I got my like not too long after like not too long before I got my 360. Like I got mine like I think it was like early 2007. Um and like I
Hmm.
think that game came out like a few months before that. And I bought I think I ended up renting it or buying it or whatever. And I was like the game was great. And then I died the first time and then like I had to go back to like the beginning of the game. I'm like, well, fuck this game. So I think they're finally gonna fix that. Thank God. And then they're gonna talk about that Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is coming to like the iPhone, the new iPhones and shit like that. So, did you hear that story, Gables, about like those iPhone games, how they're like selling? There's
No,
like I think like I can't
no.
remember like they like it's like estimates, so no confirmation, but they're estimating that like there's a bunch of Assassin's Creed games and some like Capcom games that have come to like the new
Yes.
iPhone and like the iPad. Excuse me, very burpy here. Um, and they're like estimating they've sold anywhere from like 3 to 7,000 copies. Yeah,
What? That's it?
yeah. But I mean, they're like charging full.
3 to 7,000.
Yeah, three to 7,000 copies for these. Fucking wild. But they're also charging like full price for these games. So I'm wondering. I'm really guessing that
Oh,
like probably
that's why.
I'm gonna bet money that like Ubisoft and Capcom will probably just like give it a bunch of money to make these on here, so they probably don't even care how much they sell. They probably like got paid to make these. But yeah, it is. But yeah, like you're charging full price for old games on the play on your phone. Like I don't like even though I heard they actually run really well and they look really good. But it's like if I have
Mhm.
a console or like a PC that's worth a damn. Like, why the fuck am I paying for that? Anyways, they did also say that Monster Hunter Wilds will not be there. But I'm not like, I guess like the most interesting thing here, obviously, is like I think Dead Rising, the deluxe remaster being there, like kind of seeing what it looks like and kind of some updates of what they mean by like their updating the save system for this. They haven't really said exactly what that means, but it's 25
Hmm.
minutes long. For me personally, I don't think they've said if there's like this is it. I'm really hoping for like one more thing. Like I'll do a live react to this, only just hoping that there's something else. Because like if this is it, like what I don't know. Like I guess like yeah, do it. You're gonna have more eyeballs on it, but like man, I really hope this isn't it. But I don't know, Gables. How I'm guessing you're not super pumped for this one either.
Well, for the whole Capcom Next stuff, no, I'm not really too much pumped for it, only because they are covering like about 3 or 4 games in all, and it's like if there is a crazy like announcement that is happening like towards the end of it, I mean that's going to be a complete surprise to anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just not really too invested inside of it. I mean, Dead Rising, like the remake of that, I mean that's super exciting because that's a series I never really delved into, only because of the fact the original one, even though it is considered like a cult classic by many, it definitely didn't have the best gameplay or the best like save mechanic stuff. And if they're basically going to go to like an auto save sort of thing, I mean that probably wouldn't make some sort of
Yeah.
sense.
I'd definitely check it out. And like also like I remember like if you like you killed a boss or whatever they'd like respawn if you left the area or whatever. Remember that too back in the
Oh,
day. So it was bad. So hopefully they fix that because I remember like that game was like super fun and dumb for the time. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to get super excited for um, a game like the Path of the Goddess. I'm gonna call it that because I can actually say that. Um, like we've seen that a lot recently. We've seen it like
yes.
I think it was at the Xbox showcase last year. It was at their like third party thing they did just a few months ago, and it was literally at the Xbox showcase we had a few weeks ago. We've seen a bunch of gameplay for it
Mm-hmm.
there. So there's also been a bunch of preview events like that happened since then too. And then yeah, we're looking at like cool. We're gonna see Resident Evil 7 on a phone. Cool, I guess. And then their next big game that's announced, Monster Hunter Wilds, will not be there. So um, like I said, I'm gonna live react to it solely just for the hope that there's like the one more thing and it's like Resident Evil 9 or
Right.
something like that's it. Um, yeah, but that's at 3 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But Gables, if you are wanting to live react, you're welcome to join me. Um,
I'll see what I can
all right,
do.
Gables will not.
I'm not sure what's going to go on this coming
All right,
Monday.
Gables will not be there. But all right. Moving on here though. We got the Circana report here. This is for April. It's been out for a couple weeks now, but everything just like there's been a ton of news. It's kind of being pushed back a little bit. But I think it's still kind of exciting to go through this. I think May's will be out next week's podcast. We'll go over May. We're gonna go through the top 20 here. So like I said, this is April. It's a couple months ago.
Got it.
We got number 20, Spider-Man 2. Number 19, Elden Ring. Number 18, Mario Kart 8. Number 17, Tekken 8. Number 16, Rainbow Six Siege. Number 15, Princess Peach Showtime. Dropped from 6th to 15th. 14, Madden NFL 24. 13, Minecraft. Number 12, jumping from 167th in March to 12th in April, Grounded. Obviously, that came to
Ah,
Switch and PlayStation in April. Number 11, Rise of the Ronin. Number 10, EA Sports FC 24. Number 9, Hogwarts Legacy. Number 8, in the month of March, it was 159th. Now it's number 8, Fallout 76. Um, Dragon's Dogma dropped from 1st in March to 7th. Number 6 here, MLB The Show 24. Number 5, jumping from 87th. There's a theme here. Fallout 4. Uh, Number 4, jumping from 55th the previous month. Sea of Thieves. Number 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Number 2, finally, I think for the first time in a long time, not being. Oh no, I guess Dragon's Dogma was number 1. But Helldivers 2 is number 2. And then the best-selling game from April, Stellar Blade. Yeah.
wow, there you
Yeah.
go.
So I did hear though, like this was like, I think like as far as like new games go, it was like one of the like lowest selling months we've had. I think I don't know if I wrote it down here. I might have. Um, but it was like one of the lowest selling months for like new titles in a long time. I'll give you a
Hmm.
second. I think I have it here notes. But some interesting stuff here is from Matt Piscatella on Twitter. He's the one that puts together these Circana reports. This is based. By the way, this is based off dollar figures, not individual sales, and this is just U.S. only. So And like certain companies like Nintendo and like Take-Two don't give digital information. But like I mentioned here, Fallout 4 was 87th to 5th. Fallout 76 was 159 to 8th. Fallout New Vegas was 193 to 24. Fallout 3, yeah, wild. Fallout 3 was 316th to 37th. Fallout 4 VR, which I didn't even know existed, was 605th to 99. The Fallout 2 Fallout Tactics bundle was 668th to 122nd. And then the biggest one, Fallout Special Anthology, which in March was 3,976 place to 137th. So, um, we always talk about whenever a TV show or a movie or whatever of a big video game IP and actually is successful, there's always that big fallout, that big
Yes.
explosion of like the sales of like the games, and we talk about like, oh man, like kind of sucks he didn't have like a big Fallout game come out, but apparently it didn't matter. I guess it also helps when you have like a dozen copies, like a dozen different versions of that franchise, you'll do fine, I guess. But anything stand out for you besides some of the stuff, Gables?
Oh my gosh. Well, Sea of Thieves being inside that top 20 for the Circana, doesn't surprise me because you had like the releases on the
Mm.
PlayStation platform and stuff like that, and I believe I'm not sure if it was Switch already,
I
but
know it's on Switch.
PlayStation, yeah, PlayStation release. And what's kind of hilarious about it is like with Sea of Thieves on PlayStation, it's actually one of the best selling games on
Yeah,
the PlayStation
I think it was like
Network,
the most.
and that's so crazy.
I think it was like the most pre-ordered game on PlayStation before it came out. So, uh,
Wow.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Like Grounded being in there as well. But so this falls from Matt Pescatelli here on Twitter. Not taking anything away from Stellar Blade, any title ranking first in its U.S. Sales month debut is a great achievement, but it did have the lowest sales to lead in April since Prototype 2 in April of 2012.
April of
Remember
2012,
Prototype
Prototype
2?
2.
Remember Prototype 1? Remember Prototype at all? That
Yes.
was like that. That was like the fuck? What was that? It was like the big like infamous killer for Xbox basically, and like
That was Xbox's version of Infamous, sort
yeah,
of,
who
because the
made
the first and
Prototype?
the second game were incredibly different in terms of their story because they changed the lead character and stuff. That's what I
Oh,
remember. I never played either of
I
those
didn't
games,
either.
but I at least remember that from back
I think
then.
I might have like GameFlyed Prototype 1 back in the day because I had a 360, so I couldn't play or Infamous. Activision made that. Okay, that's crazy. But I think I think it was exclusive for a while on Xbox, but eventually came over to PlayStation. Maybe like PS4 it came
Yeah.
over, but um, all right. Anyways, here on a time aligned basis, the PS5 is trending 8% ahead of the PS4 at like the month to month comparison. While Xbox
Mm,
Series is trailing Xbox One by 13%, but remains slightly behind the 360. Um, Next up here, Stellar Blade debuted as the best-selling premium game of April and the 16th best-selling game of 2024 year to date. Stellar Blade was the only new release in the month of April on the top 20, which is interesting. I don't think. I'm trying to remember what else.
mm.
Did Nintendo not have a game in April?
I don't know if they had a game
I
in
don't think they did
April,
because
to be perfectly honest, because the month previous they had the Princess Peach
that was
Showtime
yeah, it
game,
was
but I don't think there
March.
was anything really big in
Yeah,
April.
Mario and Donkey Kong I think was February. So maybe they didn't. Okay, it's weird.
Hmm.
If they did a good job of having one game a month, then yeah, I guess maybe they skipped April. Uh, April video game hardware spending fell 43% year over year. All current consoles have fallen about 26% year to date, but the Switch has fallen 69% year to year. Um,
Nice.
yeah, nice. Yeah, not nice for Nintendo, but nice. Yes.
Not nice for
Yeah.
Nintendo, but just the fact that it's by
Yeah.
69%.
But I think part of that too is this time last year it was like end of April that Zelda OLED Switch came out. I think at the end of April, right before Tears of the Kingdom. So that's probably like they had that big boost in April. I think springtime, April, May of last year. They had that big boost because they did that Tears of the Kingdom OLED. And I think that's probably a big reason. Probably like what I mean. Obviously, they've been falling year to year, but I think maybe that's why it's so steep this time around. Is because I'm kind
Hmm.
of interested when we get to like May next week. We'll have May's. I'm kind of interested what we're gonna look like. You know, May this May to like last May, and then June and stuff like that, especially as we get close to the summer. And they've also acknowledged, I think back in April or May, I think it was May, they actually acknowledged the next Nintendo console for the first time ever. So yeah, but moving on here to some other news this week, Gables. Um, Decent amount of stuff, kind of stuff built up over the last couple of weeks. Um, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is actually coming to Steam August 8th. Uh, Fable,
Hmm.
Xbox is, as of right now, hoping that Fable will be ready to go for holiday 2025, and they're actually thinking there's an outside chance that Gears E Day will be coming out next year as well. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, I was honestly thinking that would be like the next Xbox launch game, maybe. Assuming that comes in 2026. Um, Embracer closed Pieces Interactive, which they just put out the Alone in the Dark game back in April. Um,
Hmm.
so I guess that game was a big disappointment for them. But it's like, I don't. Gables, if you did this podcast with me and I didn't tell you, would you have known Alone in the Dark came out? Okay,
No,
I think that
probably not.
I think that's the case for most people. If they didn't listen to a video game podcast that might have talked about that game, I think a lot of people probably didn't know that game was even out until they announced that they closed the developers, which is really sad. And it's like it was their first, like they were basically like a support team on like AA games and stuff like that. And this was like their first ever like attempt at like a bigger bigger game, like their own game on top of that.
Yeah.
It's like we talk about, for years, you put out a game and it did okay or like reviewed pretty well, and it reviewed okay. I think it's like low 70s, like on OpenCritic or whatever. Um, like you would have had a shot to make another game, and now it's like nowadays like you can put out a game that's like very successful and they'll just close it down anyways. So just really sad. Um, Crash Trilogy, they announced has sold over 20 million units. Uh, it's
Nice.
pretty cool. I forgot to write down the name of the studio. Who made the Pokemon the Shining Pearl games? Was that
Ilka.
Ilka? Yeah. There. It sounds like there's I don't know if it's there's been some evidence that they're the ones making that new Mario and Luigi brothership game. So
Hmm.
take that for whatever you will, but apparently that's what it looks like. I guess like because Nintendo mentioned that they have like developers that worked from Alpha Dream that made all the Mario Luigi games previously they went
Yes.
bankrupt a few years ago. And they mentioned that like, yeah, there's previous developers that are working on this game, and I guess like Ilka has like I think like 8 or 9 developers that that used to work at Alpha Dream that now work there. So I think that's kind of like
Hmm. I
the
see.
evidence. Obviously, it doesn't mean it, but Nintendo doesn't work with a lot of outside developers and publishers. So it's probably like I think that's why people are like looking at them as possibly the case of who it is. Next up here, speaking of July, that July 17th to 19th range being pretty crazy. Concord will have an open beta from July 18th to 21st. So the previews came out for that one. Like people seem to like it for what it is. Um, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage got delayed to 2025. That is like Don't Nod, who created Life is Strange. That is like their basically return to like a Life is Strange I guess. It's supposed to come out this fall, and they announced they're delaying it to basically pretty much openly admitted because Life is Strange Double Exposures come out this fall, so they're delaying it to get out of the way, which I think is a smart thing. I think Life is Strange
Hmm.
is bigger than Don't Nod at this point. And as much as like I would love to play, I'm gonna play both those games day one. I think even as a big fan of these type of games, I don't know if I want to play two of them in a short amount of time. Um, just a reminder to people: the Xbox 360 marketplace is shutting down on July 29th. There's a bunch of games that are on sale on the digital store right now on your Xbox consoles. They did say there'll be one more big sale on July 16th. So um,
Wow.
yeah, so if you are looking at possibly buying some 360 games digitally, might want to get on that now. I have a few that I've saved that aren't on sale yet, so I'm just gonna wait until the 16th to see if they go on sale, and then if they don't, I'll just buy them anyways. But if I can wait a few weeks and buy them on sale, I'm just gonna do that. But just a little friendly reminder to the people out there to check maybe if there's some 360 games that you're wanting to play, and maybe you have a Series S, or you're more digital, maybe now's a good time to check out. Make sure there's some games in there that you want to play. Um, yeah. Gills, let's get to what we've been playing, buddy. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I think I'll have you go first this time.
Okay. Um, so I've only been playing one game. It's funny. I've been talking about the last couple weeks a little bit. It's an old game, Dragon Age Inquisition. It's a 10-year-old game. Talk about it. I played like 40 hours of it way back in the day, and then got to like a frustration point of like I was gonna do a bunch of grinding to like unlock the next area, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I almost hit that point again. I mentioned it last week. I hit that point again, but I'm like, well, I'm stuck at home. I might as well keep playing it. And then I found out you can actually like buy the points you need to like unlock the next area. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I just kind of used that, kind of like did all that. But funny enough, I bought all these points to like unlock the next area. And then I'm like, well, I'm stuck at home. My plan was like not do a lot of side content. Like I'll do the bigger stuff and then like mostly mainline it. And I got to like almost like I had like 3 main missions left, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm really enjoying this game and I'm not going anywhere for a while. Like, why am I rushing through this game now? So like I said, stuck at home, got this injury, can't really do a lot. So I just ended up playing a ton of this game. I did all the DLC. I did, which was really like there was like, because I bought like they had like the Game of the Year edition for $4 with all the like I think
Yeah.
there's like 3 DLCs that like run like and then there's like the fourth one which is like an expansion that takes place after the main game. Um, so I did ended up playing like through all the DLCs which were fantastic. The Bioware, especially back in those days, like their DLC was always great, always worth the money. Played through all those, like a ton of extra content there, some really good side stuff. Did like I didn't like do like the dumb fetch quest stuff. Like I wasn't really still wasn't doing that still. Or like if they were like right there, I might have done them, but like I wasn't going on my way to do them. But like any like thing that like added like some good story content, I did. Um, I will say though, like I really liked a lot of the side characters and like a lot of your team in this game, like the characters you have. Like they've always done a great job of like building a cast of characters. But like people, I think some people I remember like Bioware in its heyday, like that late 2000, early 2010 era of like, man, those loyalty missions for like Mass Effect and like those early Dragon Age games were fantastic.
Yes.
And there's some like good story content in the like the loyalty missions. They don't call them that, but they're essentially that in this game. But man, like the way they're formatted, just some of them, not all of them, but some of them just kind of suck. Or it's like, cool, well, we need you to like kill these 5 guys, and there's one at this one here, because it's like there's like a bunch of different areas in the game. It's not a big open world. So like you go to this area, there's one here, or there's one at this area. You have to go to this area. Like this kind of sucks. I don't really enjoy this. Like I like Mass Effect 2. You think of like that was like peak loyalty missions for BioWare, and it's like you go in.
Right.
It's like a
Yeah.
good solid like hour and a half long mission with like a ton of details. You learn a bunch of backstories, all that, and like but like you get like obviously you get like it helps your chance like later on in the game. Like you build a better relationship, learn a lot of lore of that character and of the world, and this like yeah you learn more of the character, but it's like not really a lot. It doesn't like there's no like major thing that changes like the ending of the game or anything like later on with the game if you don't do the missions. So like a lot of them I just kind of like skipped. Like, I did a couple of them that were like interesting, like that were like closer to like what I wanted. To, like you think of like Mass Effect loyalty missions. But yeah, like I ended up like going through it, beating it, but like my timer screwed up because like I put the game in like rest mode and like the timer, the in-game clock didn't stop. So it says I had like 205 hours in it, but I was probably close to like 60 to 70 in the end. But yeah, end up
Mm-hmm.
like I said, end up loving it. I did the last like expansion that would like kind of it's like the bridge between Dragon Age Inquisition and Veilguard that's coming out later this year. It kind of sucks because I know like I knew like the twist in Inquisition that like leads to like the new game. And if you watch any of this like the trailers or anything for Veilguard, it kind of spoils that anyways. But like it's a 10-year-old game at this point, so it's like it's really like I can't get mad about it. But it's like there's like one of the characters in the Inquisition like turns on you at the end of the game. Um, so like I knew that, so I'm like I just never took that character with me in the game because he's kind of like remember when I played the game initially in 2014, like he was like my one of my main people that was always in my group. So this time around, I didn't do that because I knew he was gonna like eventually this guy's gonna be a bad guy. So I'm like I'm not gonna invest a lot of time in like getting to know you and like putting a bunch of stuff and like giving you all my best gear and all that. So like I didn't really
Right.
like grow that like friendship with him as I did with the rest of the characters because like I'm like I know you're an asshole in the end. So like that kind of sucked, I guess. But like I still really enjoyed the game overall. But yeah, definitely like a ton of fun. It definitely has like a lot of issues, a lot of bugs, a lot of pop in, a lot of like weird janky physics and stuff like that. Like it's a BioWare game from the the 2000s era, so yeah, that happens. But that's pretty much all I'm playing. Gables, what about you?
Okay, so for the games I had been playing, it's just a little bit of a hodgepodge of stuff. I was playing a little bit more of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because I just decided I wanted to play a little bit of a fighting game throughout this past week, even though I have been like sort of like hit and miss when it comes to like playing certain games because I would literally be in bed, maybe playing my analog pocket, playing something of Pokemon or something, and fall asleep. But in terms of what I had done for the ultimate, like my ultimate MVC3, I have been choosing the random all select things and then try to go through the arcade with just a bunch of random fighters all like teamed together and see how well that does. I am 0 for 2 with this attempt because I literally am getting all the way to the last like the round like the stage 7 before I actually get to face Galactus at the end of it and stuff, and I end up losing for that the round, before getting to him and stuff. So basically what I have been doing is like I'm just going to treat this like a go, kind of like a one go thing. See if I can get through the like how arcades were back in the day with fighting games to where if you reason how you would get past an arcade mode instead of a fighting game, you'd have to do it all on one quarter or like on one go without doing that stuff. And yeah, the random mixes that was paired with, it was pretty funny. Like I'd had like Virgil from Devil May Cry 5, like Jill from like Resident Evil, and like like random characters I don't even know too much of, like Suma Gorath, which is like a character out of Marvel's universe and stuff. Have all that stuff like team together, do okay, and then their costumes are randomized too as I'm and their assists as well. Like so it's just basically like a roll of the dice. Like, okay, let's see if I can get like a couple different teams together and try to go through and do a various run against Galactus. And so far it hasn't really met with too much success, but at the same time, it is like a fun thing I'm doing like on the side just because I want to get more knowledgeable because I've been just craving just fighting MVC, just playing an MVC game of some form. But yeah, other than that, playing a little bit of Pokemon stuff, just delving a little bit with that as well. But yeah, it's not so much this past week, but at the same time, I'm just really getting in the mood to play another, like I play another, like say, another just game in general. So yeah, I'll give a little bit more updates next week. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I've been playing this
All
week.
right, man. Well, it's pretty. Well, I think it's the first time in a long time we've got under an hour for a podcast. So, um, so yeah, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys like that. Please, like I said, like, follow, subscribe. We've had a lot of new subscribers and viewers and stuff over the last month. So keep that momentum going. Appreciate it if you guys can hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, tell your friends, follow us. Even if you're watching us or listening to us somewhere else, go to another place, subscribe to us on there too. Whether you're like doing the audio version or the video version, check us all places. Just click some buttons, downloads, 5-star reviews, shares with your friends, shares with just anybody. Tell people about us. We're two guys that we have full-time jobs. We just do this for fun. We don't make money off this. But if
Mm.
you can help us out, maybe get a little closer to that we can make a little bit of ad money on this on YouTube. Probably not a lot of money, but something. That'd be great. But anyways, I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk Nerds
Thank you.
podcast.
Too
Yeah,
sweet.
too sweet,
Bye,
man.
guys.
See ya.